her health is going to be at your forefront for a while.
When is it not? Always been. So, so I think we're mhm. Thank you. Okay. Let me wait for this. Okay, we're just about ready. Get Give everybody a minute to kind of
All right, ready to rumble.
open up the chat. Okay, good. I see that we're live here. Where am I getting an echo from? Hold on a minute.
Okay.
I have an echo. Okay. I had an echo and I had to find where the echo was coming from. Okay, so we're good. Let me just, no, this isn't the one I want to use.
And if you
One
want to talk a
second.
little XRP versus the stock market,
Yeah,
or
yeah, definitely we can. What? How come I don't see the chat? Hold on a second. The chat's not loading. Hold on.
why is
Mhm.
that?
Yeah, it picks up everything as soon as oh, here it is. Is this it? Yeah, okay. Um, okay. Just want to make sure they know to put their name if they have a question.
Okay.
They can include their name. That would, obviously there's things that you need to do this. So I'm going to start going live on this end. Court. So we're all set. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the GoldFish Report. I'm your host and researcher, Louisa. Today is Friday, April 4th, 2025. This is GoldFish Report number 1147. This is our weekly food for the soul, talking current events with psychic medium Mark Christopher Nelson. Good to see you, Mark.
Hey, Louisa, it's always nice to see you and your smiling face, okay?
Yeah,
It is.
thank you. Yeah, well, I hope we'll see Barb coming, but she'll join us again at some point. But
She will. Yeah.
yeah, it's good. So I want to welcome everyone who's watching. If you are tuning in on YouTube, which is we're live on YouTube tonight, and you have a question for Mark, please put it in the chat, type it in the live chat, and don't forget to include your name because
It
we
helps.
I mean, Baby Buggy. I mean, anybody has a nickname or a just like a goofy name that they use. There's no way, Mark, right, Mark? You can you cannot tune into that energy of a nickname like that,
No,
right?
well, I can't see them. I can't hear their voice. So at least having a name is useful.
Okay, good. You know, one of the things that I thought was important, I mean, we're seeing so many major changes. We're going to talk about the stock market in just a minute, but honestly, Trump is doing this deliberately, and I'm going to explain. But I mean, we really have to look at the really big picture. It is so easy for us to get caught up in the details of the day, and not really see it from a 40,000-foot view. And like from God's point of view.
Mhm.
And God's point of view, these are kind of incidental things. I think that that's happening at this moment.
Mhm.
Not everybody and not every denomination recognizes the rapture. I understand that. But the events that are happening right now, we have massive earth changes going on. Massive, I mean, the earthquakes are getting higher in number. 7.9, 8.0, 7.2. We've had it in the Ring of Fire. We've also had it in the in Indonesia. Tonga now has had one today, and then we had it over in Myanmar. There's also one that went off in, okay, the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Okay.
What
So
states does that touch for those of us that don't know the Mid-Atlantic Ridge?
the Mid-Atlantic Ridge is between, it's in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and it goes all the way down the center and it goes all the way up to Iceland. And you know that Iceland also has been having a lot of volcanoes. So what I'm trying to say is when you look at world events, you should also look at geological events too.
Mhm.
So when you gather your information about our timeline that we're on right now, what is the timeline that we're on, right?
Hmm.
And it is definitely, absolutely, unquestionably, undeniably following the biblical timeline of approaching rapture. And that's what we wanted to ask everyone tonight, really, is like, if rapture were to happen in 2 weeks, if tensions were heating up over in Iran and between China and Taiwan, which is what they're doing. But if that were to happen and we were to get to, near nuclear level event, like a Bay of Pigs scenario, so to speak, whatever, um, you know, there's certain events that would start the tribulation. And it's very, it's marked. There's a lot of events, and earth changes are one of them. But these are, how that happens is, some people say it's Nibiru, the Sumerians. That was the planet that the Anunnaki were on. Although Anunnaki, when you looked at the pyramids and we looked at the discovery under the pyramids, you look up, it's completely perfectly aligned with the Orion constellation, because they would communicate with them through these pillars that are in the ground. These whole things were not just energy generators, but communicate, advanced technology that's going to be huge. So what I'm trying to say is that there's some people that have the school of thought that rapture is near. And I'm just asking, like, if it happened in the next 2 weeks, how it says, two women will be working in the field, one will be taken, one will remain. Um, two men will be working in the mill. One will be taken and one will remain. Now, this is a little confusing because it also refers to gathering the tares, a gathering of the tares. So it's separating the wicked. It's removing the wicked. It's
Hmm.
gathering the tares.
Hmm.
And if we were to remain, then would that, so that's a little confusing right there. So is it that they'll be removed first and then we'll be raptured, which is probably more likely the scenario. But these massive earth changes are huge. Um, we know that there was a baby woolly mammoth that was flash frozen in Siberia, that was discovered recently. And it still had like flowers in its mouth. And so Siberia, as you know, is not known for flowers.
No,
Okay,
no. Earth shift, a
right.
global shift.
So what's happening when we're having all these volcanoes going off, we're having all these earthquakes. Um, the question is this portending the rapture? Because these events are lining up, as it says in the Bible, on this timeline, on the biblical timeline, to prepare for rapture. Um, and it doesn't mean we don't come back. I mean, we would be removed while the remainder of tribulation, because that would be the beginning of tribulation. So it would be the remainder, and so could tribulation really begin with Iran? And that's what I'm trying to say, is that, like, we don't really know the hour or the day.
No,
But
like the thief in the
would you
night.
be
This is
ready
what
for it? Yeah, but would you be ready for it? What would you do if you what would you do differently, or what would you do if you had 2 weeks, if you knew that rapture would be in 2 weeks? What would you do, Mark? I
I
mean,
wouldn't pay taxes.
most.
Let him go. Let it ride. Come and get me later.
That's funny.
That's horrible. All right, I'm very
Yeah.
sorry I was being horrible. But if I knew in 2 weeks, I would probably try to speak to everyone I knew to get themselves in a place where they are good with God. And so I feel fortunate in my readings. I get that often comes up. Not always, not it, this isn't the main purpose for many people's readings. On occasion it does. But in talking on this show, being here, and thank you for this. It's worth it for everyone to kind of take a moment to say, am I doing am I living a life that I think God wants me to live? And it's a great question. And it's something that you just can't answer once. I need to answer it many times during the day. Am I doing the right thing? And I also ask for God's guidance. I mean, we all have things. I mean, I'm very grateful a lot of people come to me for readings, and my purpose is to
Mm,
be that channel to their
mm,
guardian angels, their spirits, their guides. And I mean, I always ask God, what is it that you need this person to hear today? I'm just trying to be as effective and useful as I can. And
mhm,
so, for each person, though, are you living in a way that you think is pleasing to God? Do you feel, and also too, you don't have, it isn't like everyone has to become a Bible scholar. It's more like, are you in
mm,
line with God? Are you doing things of the light? Are you trying to, I highly recommend reading the Bible. I do.
mm, mm,
I think it's useful. I think it's enlightening. I listen to passages every day, pretty much. Some days I miss, but I listen almost every day to get something because it helps me feel grounded. So, um, but these are all my subjective ideas about
mm.
what I think we need to do to be prepared. So, that yours may be very different, but I would just ask you to investigate, ask God, and look inside yourself. I mean, when even though I mean we're talking about spiritual ideas and principles, the idea is that how self-aware are you about your place in the universe, about what you could be, should be, or want to do, and are you doing anything that moves you closer to it? I would say that you'll find more emotional and spiritual satisfaction in thinking about these issues. It's the examined life. Am I being thoughtful? Am I accidentally hurting someone? Am I doing something could I do something better for someone I love? So it just the whole, I'm rambling. Forgive me, I'm going to stop. But just the idea that
Mm.
pay attention, be conscious, and that consciousness is going to look different for each of us, I think, to a degree.
Well, that's great. That's wonderful. I mean, it helps people to think about it. And I just wanted to add, definitely repenting. If you're not like
Yes.
acting according to the Ten Commandments, I think we need to repent and then
Yeah.
and start, making some changes. I don't think it's too late. Because the biggest concern I have is that I want to make sure I'm going. I want to make sure I'm on the list.
Yeah.
That is so it's like get
Yeah.
yourself do your honest work, look in that mirror
Yeah.
and do your honest work and find out what you need to do and repentance is a beautiful thing. It
Let
really
me just
truly is.
add to that
If you
real
truly
quickly
mean
too.
that, go ahead. Mhm.
There's a couple of um, what they call themselves Christian ministers that say, God gets you, God understands. But God may also say, I understand that what you're doing is not good for you. And so the idea, repent, find yourself in a place where you're in alignment with the word of God. However, and you have to look at,
Mm,
I mean, do I follow? I mean, I don't. I have anyway. I I'm a sinner. All right, let's get this out of the way. We all are. I screwed up. I screw up a lot. I try not to. But in any case, are you repenting? Are you trying to live in alignment with God's vision for you is? I mean, I know I'm a psychic medium, and some people in the Christian faith don't think that I should be doing this, but
mm,
I feel like I am doing the right thing. So I'm examining my motivations
mm,
and my beliefs, even though I've described myself as Christian, Catholic, I'm not on the reservation
mm,
entirely according to the theologians that run these
mm.
institutions. But I'm okay. I can live with that.
Yeah.
So can
Well,
you
let
live
me
with
go,
what you're
let me
doing?
let me go to the chat. I have a few people I want to say hi, welcome and hello to Marisha and Inger, who's here every week. Appreciate that. Marisha and Sunny. So let me welcome and thanks for joining us tonight. And to everyone who else who's watching and who's not in the live chat, thanks for joining us. Let's see. Marisha has a question. She'd like to know if there's any message from her father, Tony.
Um, you know what, Marisha, Tony is showing me it's like put money. He's like, put money away. It's like it's a money lesson. He's telling you to save. I'm seeing you. It's like he's putting money. It's like putting it in a bank, putting it in a. So he's asking you to be conscious of savings, and then he's also saying, pay attention to your throat health. I don't know if there's something that is either if you get recurring sore throats, but I'm seeing like pay extra attention to making sure your throat is protected. And I don't think it's I don't think it's anything. It may be like a glands, but just pay attention to throat health. Make sure that you're not getting too much irritation, and that he says, "No, I love you." Okay.
Okay. Sunny wanted to know what is your prediction regarding the economy and the tariffs? So it's a big
Okay.
one.
Hey, Sunny, miss you. I hope she's a lovely lady. I know her. She's
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah, that's lovely.
Um, I feel like that the tariffs are going to cause some fluctuations in the stock market. I also think that ultimately they will be good for the country. We're going to have to go up. I mean, it feels like a bucking bronco. We may see a little bit of it, but it's not endless. One thing I feel like that ultimately it will bring back jobs to the United States, manufacturing, which is good for our country in so many ways. How did China become so wealthy and strong? They took all our manufacturing and then they put up tariffs. So it's really not a
Mm.
mystery. So my expectation is that we're going to see things be a little uncertain. We're very uncertain for a couple of months where we have to like look out for jobs. Some jobs are going to go away, some are going to come back. But by the end of the year, we're going to start to see all of these other countries getting in alignment with the fact that they don't want to have high tariffs. They don't want to be locked out of our market, and so they will do things necessary in order to become more equitable trading partners. That's coming. So, and that will have, I would say, almost untold benefits that we have yet to see. I saw just real quickly, I saw some commentator on TV take off his shoe and it says, "This was made in China. This shoe is going to cost 34% more." He said, "Well, wouldn't it be nice if that shoe was made in the United States?"
Exactly.
And if all he can see is a
Mhm.
more expensive shoe, then, who does he work for? I mean, what does he do? Well, there was a time in our country when we made a lot of things, and I think we need to be back there in order to maintain the strength of our country. We can't be a country that does not make things. That's a
Yeah.
country that fails.
Well, we have to weigh that very carefully with AI because it looks like AI is going to take over, 80% of the jobs by 2030. I mean,
Well,
it's one estimate. So, I wanted to, let's see.
oops, sorry.
No, that's okay. I wanted to, may I add to that? Would you mind if I add to that?
Are you kidding? This is your show.
It's not a psychic ability I have, but I mean, I'm a researcher. So this is what it looked like. This is what it looked like today, the market. What you'll know on the left, what you realize on the left is all these companies that have shipped their manufacturing overseas, basically. And the ones on the right, these are all crypto. This tariff situation, this correction in the economy, this has been way overpriced. This correction is being engineered by Trump. And it is because it's going to force more cash. So what he's doing, and I explained this in a previous report where Trump was going to, um, I know, control the top 20% of the correction, which he's doing right now. And after that, there certainly probably will be more because it's just such a big ship. You just can't turn it around that fast. Although the markets can crash pretty quickly. So it looks like they're going to force the cash into treasuries, which will force the Fed uh, to slash interest rates in May. Although the Fed's saying today that they're not planning on doing it. I'm sure they're going to do it because they don't want to they don't want to seem that they were just played by Donald Trump.
Yeah.
This will lower the rates and give the Fed the ability to refinance these trillions of dollars we have in debt at a lower rate and save a lot of money. This will also cause a drop in the mortgage rates as well. So, a lot of people maybe uh, Trump can only he can only do what he can with what he was given when he got into office. So, unfortunately, we all knew this was a bubble. I mean, there's no way you can have, you can have these stock shares, and even crypto was Bitcoin's not even backed by anything, for goodness sakes. But this is all, everything that's in green on the right is all crypto. So that tells you that we're getting very close. This crash had to happen, and it's going to continue to happen. And I'm not sure at what day we're going to go live with the QFS, but I do know that it's already operational on the back screens on Forex. It's not on the front page. So it's I don't know whether Forex is going to be involved in the crypto, to be honest.
Help me because I'm
Yeah.
learning. Louisa is, just for everyone listening, is far more knowledgeable about the crypto market. I'm learning thanks to her. But what is this phrase that you were just talking about then? Make sure that all of us, not everyone on who's listening, may understand what we're
I'm
talking about.
sorry. Yeah,
Maybe.
there's new language involved in this whole quantum financial
Yes.
system.
Yep.
Yeah, run by a quantum computer. What you have is, I'm going to explain it in really kindergarten terms, and I'm
I'm
not
in eighth
trying.
grade, seventh grade. Tell
Yeah,
me about it.
yeah, I'm not trying to belittle anybody, but I can tell you that it was not explained to me this way. So it was a little harder, at this point in time, it's a little bit easier to really kind of visualize this. But what you have is a blockchain technology. So
Mhm.
blockchain basically means there's different, think about, all right,
Decentralized.
wait, yeah, first of all, you have the Swift cross-border payment system, which is antiquated, but it does trillions of dollars every day. Um, and it's costly. It costs a lot of money to use it to do cross-border payments between institutions, meaning governments and their treasury departments and things like that. IMF, things like that, World Bank. Um, it costs a lot of money, and it takes days. Whereas crypto, if you're going to use the blockchain, it's electric, right? It's this brand new technology, and it can be done in, under a minute. So you have technology like the Swift system, right? That was used for cross-border payments. Well, we have something new for cross-border payments, which will revolutionize how international banking and even our banking, even domestically, how banking is going to be done. And you can equate this transformation to when email started. Email initially took people, quite a while, because a lot of people didn't even have computers. So the idea of email was, it took people a long time to kind of get, AOL, right? And get their first account with the dial-up modem,
It was
So,
delightful.
but can you imagine existing today without email? So it really was transformative in terms of being more efficient with communication with at work, not just, personal messages, and staying in touch with family easier and things like that, and friends from around the world. Oh yeah. As soon as we had voice over internet protocol, was having friends with conversations with my friend in India. So it's like, it has revolutionized communication and things like that. But this new quantum financial system will have that same impact that the email did uh, for the financial system. So you could think, so Ripple is the company that is eventually going to probably replace Swift. Um, and Ripple, think about Ripple as the train that rides on the tracks, or Ripple makes XRP, and that's one of the digital currencies that it is basically the digital currency, in my opinion, because that's going to be, let's equate it to the world reserve currency, but everything is going to be digital now. So the world reserve currency is going to be XRP. So you have Ripple, which is the train tracks, right? It's the blockchain. You have that technology, and the trains are XRP. And all the different stations are all the different countries in the world. And when your XRP train pulls up to United States, then it's going to reconcile all the transactions with the United States for that day.
Well, I have a
In
question
in
for
in XR
Professor.
in
I got a
XRP.
profession, got a professor question. Do you need several XRP to make a transaction? And is this capable of handling large amounts of money? And so do you need 3 units of XRP? I've got XRP. How many
Yeah,
so that number varies
yeah.
obviously depending on the amount, correct?
According to the chief technology officer who created XRP, David Schwartz, who works for Ripple. He also was one of the creators of Bitcoin as well, but it's really comparing um, I guess you would say a landline phone with a cord to a smartphone. You can still make a call with it, but
Yeah.
that's it, right? And it's just a completely different. So this is really how I would actually use that as a better analogy. But it's meant for institutions. It really wasn't meant for retail, but they couldn't prevent retail from purchasing it. So at some point, there needs to be a buyback. Either you can sell it or it can be a buyback. Now, some Forbes came out with an estimate of around 60,000 each, per XRP, uh, because of the numbers. And this is just my logic. I am not an expert in this, but my logic is telling me that if you're going to be dealing with cross-border payments internationally, these are just think of like the business that one store does, right? One store, were you giving me that example, Mark, or was it somebody else? One store can generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in business. And so that's like one business, right? And it can be internationally.
Mhm.
So think of the numbers that have to be reconciled. In my opinion, and I'm going to go out on a limb, and I don't know if anybody's going to agree with me, but my opinion is I think XRP has to be $1 million each, because these cross-border payments for institutions, they are very large amounts of money,
Mhm.
and the less, every time you use uh, a little bit of crypto, you burn it. So it might be fractions of it, but you burn it, which means less is available. So if they need to send, $2 trillion across the world, is it better to use, what is it, 10 or 20 XRP? Yeah, that's what I think they're going to do. Send
Mhm.
20 XRP.
Mhm.
If it's priced at $1 million each, send that, uh, on the blockchain. So I hope I'm not going too slow. I don't want to really talk over anybody's head. Like I don't want to go too fast. So I don't think that the XRP was intended for retail. However, uh, XLM, which is on the Stellar network, this has kind of been uh, gone unnoticed by a lot of people.
Mhm.
Stellar is a very reliable and stable network, and Stellar has the XLM. Now, I want to just introduce a couple things, and we have something called Trump has absolutely hit the ground running in terms of creating regulation, laws and regulation regarding these crypto.
Mhm.
Uh, so before he even did that, there was International Standards Organization, ISO 222. So 20022. It's a standard that crypto has to meet. And there's very few coins that actually meet those standards. They have to be backed by something. They also
Mhm.
have to be in compliance with other banking regulations like Basel III and things like that. That's really more for banks, though. They are going to let banks, I think they're going to use a credit card. And I saw MasterCard was like partnering with them involved in their meetings because I don't really want to get into the detail of what has to be done in order to use crypto and off-ramp it and things like that. I don't want to get into that. That's not really what this report's about, but it's not user friendly at this moment in time. So I knew that they were going to have to make it extremely easy, like with the credit cards that we have now, just select your own account. It's just security is a huge issue, and you don't want to get your crypto hacked. So, but I do think there's going to be some relationship with MasterCard and the ability to uh, use your crypto, which means your bank gets custody of it.
That's
So,
a little scary
you
to
know,
me.
it is
Isn't it?
scary. It's like, because if your bank gets hacked, right, then that crypto's gone. It's kind of like the only time you worried about it with cash, with money, is if
Mhm.
the bank got robbed or if
Mhm.
the bank goes under. Most of the time they're stable, right? So you never had to worry about being hacked before. Now your money can disappear by being hacked. So, these are regulations and things that he's putting into place and implementing and at lightning speed. I mean, absolutely. I have a feeling a lot of this was already worked out. It was only a matter of because he's working so fast. Seems like he's already worked these things out in advance. So this market is going to crash more, as Mark said. Mark, that was your opinion, right?
Yeah. In fact, I have to tell you, you showed me a chart where stocks were down and crypto was up. Would you have access to that? Because, I mean, by the way, guys, I know
Didn't I
we're a
just share
spiritual
that? I'm
show, and I
sorry, I
thought it was
got it.
something else. It looked a little different, but there's this spiritual sh there was
Hmm.
you texted me something that looked a little different, I think.
Oh, it was the one in the palm of the hand.
Perhaps, yeah. But
That
just the
one.
idea, you know what, this is another tool. I mean, I used to really not be at all curious about crypto.
Mhm,
And I've learned, thanks to talking with Louisa, that
mhm,
it feels like it could be a tool for the average person to uh, find some protection, some
mhm,
potential. So also too, I feel like God wants us to be protected. The
mhm,
universe, and
mhm,
again, it's like I'm not trying to say that, how do I describe God? God is, I have my own personal view of God because it helps me understand him, her, the. It doesn't matter, fill in the pronouns. But whether you call God the universe, Jesus, um, the divine, it doesn't, I mean, it's all the same entity. It's all the same power source. It's all the same part of the light, is how I would describe it.
Well, I try to take my guidance, from above, of course, when it comes to doing my reports. And
Yeah.
I do feel like using my channel, my platform, that I feel compelled to help shepherd people with this because I did
Mhm.
get in, early, and I learned about it early,
Mhm.
uh, 5, 6 years ago.
Well,
So,
Louisa helped me,
so I'm
and
just, yeah,
thanking you publicly. Thanking Louisa publicly.
you're welcome. You're very welcome. So I just wanted to mention that when there's going to be more of a correction, as you were saying, Mark. And
Yeah.
so once the dust settles, XRP is, in my opinion, going to be the phoenix that rises from the ashes. But I wanted to let people know that it has, even if it's marked at 10,000 or 20 or 60,000, as Forbes had indicated, they are going to try to shake out retail. If you do own XRP, they are going to try to shake out retail by like
Explain what
pumping.
that means, because
Well, what it means is they're trying to kind of scare retail so you'll sell. So it's been artificially low. I think that's what they're doing.
Mhm.
But at some point, they can't hold it back any longer because there was a lawsuit with SEC. SEC was trying to say it was a security,
Mhm.
and it's not. It's a commodity. So as a result of that, they're not really under the purview of the governance of the SEC because they weren't happy about it. But they filed a lawsuit, which I think they were in for like at least 4 years, I think. And that also kept the price because that's so much, that's very uncertain. There's a lot of uncertainty
Mhm.
anytime
Mhm.
companies are in litigation, as you know. So So we're almost at the point where this is ready to really kind of get its own legs. And so it's so funny to see how stark the contrast was. That's why I had to repost that. And I shared it with you because when everything else of the old world system is collapsing, the phoenix of the, rising out of the ashes is the all the crypto stocks, the crypto
One
markets.
one thing, we're still in the Mercury retrograde. Here's my little chance to get a little woo-woo in
Mm.
here.
Oh,
I
good.
feel like that the Mercury retrograde is something that it hits some of us in the head a little harder than others. It's been kind of a challenging one for me. But what's interesting is I think that there's a large meeting happening on April 9th, right after the Mercury retrograde, that's supposed to be quite significant in terms of crypto. Do you know anything about that?
Um, not
Well, keep stay
not I
tuned.
don't know any more about it other than like you said, I mean, anything more to add to that other than what you've already said.
Well, look for the Mercury retrograde. I think the last day is April 7th. And then I do think that we're going to see some things happen more rapidly. That
Mm.
could be things that have been held back are going to move forward. Also, too, for anyone who's sitting there wondering, what is a Mercury retrograde? It's a time when, and I'm not an expert in it, but it's where things go awry, where deals come apart, things get delayed. And so I wish I could be more specific, but April 9th, there's going to be some significant meeting related to crypto. And I think that it's going to probably be beneficial. So as the stock market goes through its rather downward gyrations,
Mhm.
I tend to think that crypto will go up a little bit. So I would also be very careful about how you dive in. I mean, I'm keeping a very narrow um, wallet, basically, account of what I'm going after and believing in at this time. So
Mhm.
um, Louisa knows a lot about this. If you want, I mean, she's not selling it. I feel like we're setting you up for like a sales pitch here.
No,
We're
no,
not. We're not
no, I
selling.
just want to see people do well, that's why I'm talking about it. And I want people to, like I said, I feel like, I'm trying, being guided to shepherd some people with this because it's not easy. I mean, there's a lot of new terminology. The concept of it is new and how to, so what I was saying before, so we can move on to another question, was that XRP is backed by gold. So this is also part of the standards. There's protocols that go along with these standards, and they have to be backed by something of value. They have to be backed up. That's how to move. This is how you move value. In the Internet of Value is what this is really all about. So XLM is backed by silver. You have XDC, that's another one. And then there's a few other ones. So you want the one to make sure it's backed by a precious metal. And those are the ISO 222 compliant coins. And there's only about five that I know, like five or six. And I don't remember all of them because I just only paid attention to
I'm
to the
already
top two
impressed by what you just said. So
to the
there you
top
go.
two. Oh, okay. Well, let's go over to hold on. I'm gonna look at the chat. Here we go. Okay. So Christy in Mississippi, she says, hi, Louisa and Mark. Hello. I would like to know if my dad has anything to say as well. Do you want to give us his name, Christy? Yeah, it's really important to put names in there.
Well, when I see what Christie's father is doing, I feel like that there's either an anniversary or birthday. He's coming forward with flowers. So he's presenting those first forward. He comes across and says, oh, for some reason he says I have no secrets. So I don't think there's anything he was holding back. Um, that if anyone was wondering about, there's something he didn't tell us. He says I have no secrets. Here are flowers. Um, sends love. He also shows for some reason, and here's a random thing, problem with the car starting. So I don't know if there was an issue with him with the car or if it was with you, if you are driving a car that is maybe not having, not turning over. So car, flowers, and he says, I have no secrets. That's the scoop from Dad.
Okay, that's good. That's nice. Let's see. Let's go back to it got so humid here. I can't believe how
Oh yeah,
humid
us
it is.
too.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Carolina's
Um,
humid all of a sudden.
yeah. Happy Friday to you too. Don't forget to put your first name in because I don't always remember everybody by their icon. Inger is with us. Hi, Inger. She'd like to know if you have any messages about her health.
Um, Inger, I want to ask you to pay attention to if you're getting anything. I see like maybe some congestion or some dark spots in lungs. Keep Go back and if you're having any respiratory issue, please get that looked at. I mean, I'm not trying to scare you. It looks more like there's either an irritation. Don't let lung health kind of pay attention to it, move on it, get it fixed, pay attention, okay? But beyond that, that's really the first and foremost. Get anything that could be of a respiratory issue squared away, go to the doctor, get it fixed.
I was fixing my
What are
chair.
you doing over there?
I was trying to fix my chair. It
This is
scoots
not the
down.
time to get up and start doing calisthenics,
I
okay?
know
Just
exactly,
go.
right? Yeah. Um, Joanne, right. I remember your name now. Now that you put it in there, I remember your name. Um, thanks for that reading, Mark. Let's see. Jerry is her dad's name. Christy's dad's name is
Okay.
Jerry. So, yeah.
Yeah, ask her if any anniversary or is her birthday coming up because he leads with flowers.
Oh,
So,
okay. So you heard that right, Christy. So Joanne would like to know, if her Aunt Carol, has any messages for her.
um, I see. The first impression I get of Carol is that, like, I see her sitting and having coffee at the kitchen table. Um, she's saying, "Don't move right now. Stay where you are." She says, "Think about stability versus movement. Stay where you are. Be calm." No, also too, it feels like that she says people will come and visit you again. Almost like if your house is a little quiet, that changes. I see people coming to visit, according to Carol.
Oh,
People
wow.
populating, okay?
Christy just said that the anniversary of his passing was just March 26th and his birthday was February 20th. So, yep.
Flowers,
Yeah.
birthday, yep.
You're
So,
good, G. You're good, Mark.
oh, stop it. Stop it some more, will you?
So, we're just waiting out for the next question. I'm just going to continue with yeah, I think we are going to be bracing for a recession. I mean, we will be going into a recession territory pretty soon. We're officially in a bear market now, so I do think that we are definitely poised for uh they're preparing. They're basically preparing for a recession. Um, how do you know what's really disturbing is this compound down in Florida
Mhm.
that's apparently like many hundreds of people and it's like a whole compound. It's they're all Muslim,
Uh-huh.
and they didn't get any building permits to build it.
Huh.
And I don't know how they weren't shut down. I guess Texas, it's so big and open and flat, and I guess you don't really, unless you're patrolling those, I don't know, it's a lot of territory to just patrol, right?
Is this Texas or Florida? I'm not sure which.
Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. There's like a
That's
whole town and the town council now in New Jersey, in Paterson, New Jersey, the whole town council are all Muslim, and I have nothing against Muslims whatsoever, but Sharia law is not this we already have, problems up in Minnesota, and it's not compatible with our Constitution. So
No.
the question is, we have to understand that at some point, it's not compatible with our Constitution unless
Yeah.
the people who are allowing this to happen are trying to destroy this country. Now,
Mm.
gee, do you think they're trying to do that? Yes, I do think that
Yeah,
there's
and
a
a lot of it.
faction, right?
Yes, I do agree with that. One thing too, just it's somewhat Muslim related, but I do expect us to have more problems with Iran coming up, and that could, anytime there's beginning of a war, there can be a lot of uncertainty and fear,
Mhm.
and the market and many other financial institutions do not like
Mhm.
uncertainty and fear.
All right.
So that could be another contributing factor to the problems that we may be looking at. Okay. And I say this
Mhm.
too, I reserve the right to be wrong, but I just tell you, it's like I got to lean into this. It really feels like there are going to be some issues, that there could be fighting, not just far away, but it could be coming here to some
Mhm.
extent. So everyone just be conscious of like, can you handle not getting to your bank for a couple of days? All right. You know, the whole story I've said 100 times. Just be prepared in the event that everything, there may be some minor disruptions that last for a few days, or maybe some more significant ones. Be
Mhm.
prepared.
You know, uh, so yeah, so conspiratary said she saw it about 30 miles from Houston. Yeah, I'm just saying that this is really against our Constitution,
Yeah.
their laws, and if they want to come and assimilate, fine. But unfortunately, we've got, a faction within the government. We have a secret government
Hmm.
that is operating behind the scenes and is engineering all of this crisis to destroy the country
Hmm.
if we allow it. I mean, it really is our responsibility. It's what the Declaration of Independence is for, and
Yeah, I know.
it gave us the remedy in the Declaration of Independence as to what to do.
One thing too,
Um,
people might say, well, it's their freedom of religion. Well, every religion up till now, other than Islam, I mean, many people in Islam are very
mm,
comfortable
mm,
living under our Constitution.
yeah.
But if you insist on bringing a religious legal system and justice system
Mhm.
that would, in your mind, supersede our Constitution and our form of government, then that is not compatible. And we have to stop, trying to dance around this. There are lines that cannot be crossed. If you feel that, public beheadings are part of your faith, well, that can't actually
Yeah.
happen here.
Right, and beatings of,
Yeah.
wives and things like that. The problem is exactly when they're uh they can't have their own religion. They can't have their own laws, rather, not religion, but
Yeah.
laws. They can't, no, I'm sorry, I corrected myself. They can have
Yes,
their
you
own
did.
religion. They cannot have their own laws that are in contradiction to our Constitution.
Correct.
So, that's the problem.
Hmm.
And if they didn't get the building permits to build it, then that's a violation of our laws.
And
So,
so, yeah,
and you can clearly see in the UK how that's working out. All right.
not well.
Um, where do you see this going with this compound
Well,
in Texas, Marks?
I think that under the current administration that there is going to be a greater focus on it. This, of course, all took place under Biden's non-watch. And
Mm,
so anybody that wanted to get away with anything, so long as the right palms were greased, or they just ignored the laws and no one thought to enforce American law. So I tend to think that this is going to come to a head fairly soon, that they're going to have to back down because they're not starting their own country in Texas. They can say they have their own this and their own that, but Sharia
mm,
law will not be tolerated within the United States. It may be,
mm,
I've heard there are places in the country where it's being tolerated, but
mm, mm.
I'm not a scholar on Sharia law.
Yeah.
But I would say, to your
Sorry.
point earlier,
Hmm.
it
Hmm.
cannot exist in conflict with our Constitution. So then it comes down
Right.
to, well, this law will what do local officials, government
Mm,
leaders do about it? And that's something it's going to depend on the circumstance
mm,
of that time. But I have to
mm.
think that at a certain point, if Trump becomes aware that, oh, they're trying to start, Texanistan, that's not going to Texasistan, that's not going to happen.
Takes honesty. I like that. No, no, I like it.
Texanistan.
I like it. I like it. That's good. That's a good one.
I'll give you the best one.
That's the point, though. That is absolutely the point. It cannot exist in that would be that would be sedition, treason. I mean, that
Yeah.
would be all the above. I mean, violation of our Constitution. Anyone who allows this. But folks, we are the checks and balances. There's nobody else that's going to do it. Having said that, you can see that the government is collapsing. You can see that Doge is doing an amazing job of finding the waste and finding, and thank goodness. I mean, our government never, passed an audit. I don't know that they've ever passed one, to be honest. This certainly the Pentagon can't.
Yeah.
They don't know what they do with $80 billion. I mean, at this point, everything on the blockchain is completely transparent. You can't hide. There's no offshore accounts anymore. Nobody's going to get these shell corporations and, I mean, their offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands or, whatever Swiss bank accounts without it being and recorded on the blockchain. So, let's see, we have a couple more questions because we're getting close to the end of the hour. So we have Jane who is has asked about her mom. Her mom is Grace Clinch Hoffman. She wanted to know if you have, let me see, yeah, any messages for her moving forward. Does she have any advice for her?
So Grace is passed, I'm guessing.
Yes, her mom that's
Okay.
deceased. Yeah.
Um, I hear the term "the house is yours." I don't know if there's a question about home ownership, um, where you're going to stay. I get this. She's saying that the house is yours. You keep the house. There's something. So I don't know if there's an issue about home ownership or moving, but I hear that staying where you are, the house is yours. That comes up. Grace also says that there's this. I see her asking you to pull other family members together. So if there's been anything in the way of like um, disagreement in the family, try to get people to come together. She says she loved, there's like, I loved you all, even if maybe you didn't all di agree with each other. So she's asking for people to try to come together in remembering her.
Okay, very good. And also we had Joanne say that, yeah, her daughter keeps saying she's going to come visit her, but she's getting old waiting. So you were right. We also have Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl. Cheryl said, "Does Cheryl, what's your mom's name? Just need to have your mom's name." She wanted to know if her mom had any messages for her.
Um, uh, I get that she's showing me, Cheryl, that like you're um, someone like a younger daughter, feels like young female, feels like daughter is going to need some extra help. So if there's some,
Carol.
you can, Carol, if there's something
Carol's the mom.
Carol is saying, she's showing me that Cheryl's going to have to step in and be helpful to a daughter. So even if she would normally, but there would be more help required than perhaps first understood. All right, and Carol just says send love, just says be tolerant. It'll
Mm,
get better with daughter. I don't know what that means.
mm. Okay, I hope that that answers your question. Let me see if I can get over here too. If anyone had any, questions about what we talked about tonight already, yeah, it is going to definitely impact people's retirement accounts, 401ks, and possibly pensions too. Mm,
Yeah, I would really look at anything that you can do to batten down the hatches
Hmm.
It might mean that you give up some upside in order to not lose as much. I would say being conservative at this time is probably in your best interest. Not a great time for speculation in the stock
Hmm.
market unless you're
Hmm.
betting on things going down. The big,
Right, except crypto. Just remember that there's going to be a phoenix rising out of the ashes, and it's going to be XRP, in certainly in my opinion, but in the opinion of many. You
Mhm,
could see what the markets did today. I mean, all of the crypto market went up. All of
mhm,
it did. And it had the market has to crash. We have to slowly make changes
mhm.
and to move completely digital. So no, well, I don't know. That's your choice. I don't know. I don't know about buying Tesla, but it's terrible what people have been doing to these cars. And are they that stupid that they don't see people on social media on camera? Don't they know the cars have cameras and they're catching them?
Well, why are they damaging cars for the guy that's revealing corruption, theft? Why is everyone against that? Why does that make him a Nazi for um, finding out that we're
Mark,
wasting tax
Mark,
dollars?
Mark. I know you have a good heart. You have a good soul. There are just there's people who are just their souls are so corrupted. They're the terrors. They're the tears. And by the way, there has been a long speculation, I don't know if I would say rumor, that most of the big names, like we just saw today, Russell Brand was arrested for rape. We
Oh yeah,
also heard Tom Hanks as well. So
really?
these are people who are pedophiles. They are pedivores. They are disgusting human beings. They do not have. They sold their soul. So once you understand that, then you understand that there's, you know, again, God gave us free will. It was free will to choose evil
Hmm. Hmm.
or to remain who we were at birth. But not everybody is of the same bloodline. I mean, not everybody's of the same line. There's humans though who have made the choice to choose evil, and they're the tares, and they're being round up. Is it possible what we're seeing? We saw this with Biden, of course. They're wearing masks,
Hmm.
and they're on the world stage to fulfill, a specific purpose. Have the tares already been taken up? I
And
don't know, but if people start disappearing pretty soon, but I just keep an eye on all the world changes.
what about Tom Hanks? I mean, that was something there was what
Let's
occurred
see.
with him?
Yeah, let
Because
me
I saw
go.
Russell also too.
Mm,
Um, there may be attacks against people who have not done anything wrong. I don't know. There's lawfare out there as if people are unwilling or will not consider the fact that legal systems have been used as a weapon against political opponents, that occurs, has
mhm.
occurred.
Yeah. Let me mm, get to where I was gonna share something with you on that. I'm not sure if I have it handy. Yeah. Just know that we are going through this major transformation. That's why one of the reasons why this information, the disclosure of what's under the pyramid in Egypt, and all there's going to be, advanced technology discovered there, and that's going to eventually be made available to the public in some ways, either health wise or to communication wise or transportation wise. There's advanced technology there, and it is going to be exposed. What was I looking for? Oh, here, this is Russell
Tom Hanks.
Brand. Yeah.
Russell Brand we heard about.
Oh yeah. And the other one was oh where did it go? Oh, I thought he was already hung. The
Uh,
Tom Hanks. No, I didn't repost it. Let me see something. See if it's in bookmarks. No. He's just so evil. I hate to even save anything with his picture on it. I mean, it's my opinion. I mean, what I know about what he has done, it's unbelievable. And it's verified through reverse speech analysis as well.
really? Oh, that's
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah, 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 it is. It's terrible. Let me just see. I don't know why he was but what my point is that it's the gathering of the tares. I see this as the gathering of the tares, and people are definitely wearing masks in order to play a role. Or, I think it is true that there are tribunals going on and that some people have already been eliminated. And I think that we're either th seeing doubles or masks or whatever. So in a lot of places, a lot of people, I could definitely see this happening because this fits in the timeline that we're in at this moment. And again, just yeah, I can't find it. Sorry.
No
Just
worries.
to leave on a final thought is it's not too late to repent. It's really a war for our souls. It's
Mhm.
really what it is. We can't take, it's hard to imagine. We will remain in consciousness. Mark has confirmed this, that the body survives consciousness.
Consciousness survives the body, yes.
Oh, that's what I meant. Consciousness survive. I was thinking about whether I said that right, and then you corrected me. So thank you for checking that. You had my back on that. Consciousness survives the body, which means nothing, we're still going to be alert and aware when we pass.
Mhm.
We're just not going to be in the body. But we can't take anything of this with us. But
No.
what we take is the lessons of our soul, our experiences here, how
Mhm.
we treated people, how people treated us, but it's more about you and, defending your life. I just have to keep referring to defending your life,
That's
Mark.
hysterical.
When
It's
you
a
go
funny
into the
movie.
past lives pavilion and you put your hand down and find out who you were in your past life. But, in the judgment, with the prosecutor there, they're all like looking at different days of your life to see if you,
Horrible.
overcame and you can ascend to the, or move on to the next, planet of development or something. And that's really, they do tell us the truth a lot of times in movies, and it does seem that that's, very realistic, but and
Yeah.
entertaining at the same time. But a lot of changes are happening. We will be back next week to talk about them. Oh, wait, are you going to be in North Carolina? Wait, you are in North Carolina,
I am
but
in North Carolina.
it's in 2 weeks. Are you still doing the George Norrie thing?
I don't know that I am. I'm going to find that out
Oh,
for
okay, because I
I'm not
haven't.
doing the show. There's a chance I might have gone to see them, but
Mhm.
um,
Okay.
I'm not really. I'm going to find out this week.
Okay, good. So look, if anyone who's interested in a private reading with Mark, trying to get this up on my page here. Hang on a second. I can't believe this hour just went by so
I
fast.
know.
This
Thank
is You can find Mark at marknelsonmedium.com. There's plenty of tabs here. You can make a choice and uh
Go
book an
under readings
appointment.
and gifts, and so there
Readings
you
and gifts.
can
There you
book me
go.
for half an hour, an hour. You can buy gift certificates, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's lovely. Just wonderful. It's such a lovely gift. I've always given this as a gift. It is a lovely, lovely gift to
Thank
receive,
you.
you know. So and everyone, I want to thank you. If oh wait a
But
minute. I
what?
cannot end this report. Oh, how
Up
could I? No, no, no. Do you remember earlier in the week I sent you an email of a gentleman? I'm sorry. Oh my
from
God, I'm so
Sweden, from Sweden. Oh,
yes,
I haven't
yes.
had a chance to do that yet. I will look at that. Okay.
Well, this is just a question.
All right.
Did
What
you
can I
want
look at?
to add, did you want
Let's take it on right now.
right now you have to find it. I have 55,000
I'm sorry.
unread. Yeah, I have 55,000 unread emails. Okay, just hang on a second. I have to
It's a
go
bit of
back.
a week, so forgive me if the gentleman didn't get to him yet.
No, could not forget. I promised him. And I do try to get to everybody, but it's sometimes, I forget, and I apologize for that. I write it down too, and it's pages and pages if you just knew how crazy my
Yeah.
life is. Let me just see. Excuse me. Did I? Oh, I did message you, didn't I?
Yeah.
So let's go to your message. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for doing this on the air like this.
Not a worry.
Oh, is it in the group? I think it's in the
Sent it
group.
to me. I just haven't had a
Was
chance.
it to you or to you and Barb? Because
Probably just to me. It may have been an email. I think.
well, you know what? Excuse me. You know, this allergies are crazy right now. I'm still looking for the
Yeah,
email. Let
my
me go.
eyes are killing me. I feel like I got dime slots for eyes with all of the pollen out there.
Oh God, I'm like using a nebulizer and albuterol and stuff. I can't even breathe. It's been like so bad. Okay, got it. Okay, so this is Mark from Sweden, and he says he wanted to ask you a question. He says he doesn't know how much info about himself he should reveal, but he says his situation
Hmm.
goes beyond any sci-fi or James Bond movie you've seen. His situation, okay?
All right.
Um, can you give him any information that would help him understand his situation from a more broader perspective? It's very vague, though. I don't know if that
Yeah, I
is
mean,
too
when I look,
vague.
yeah, it's really vague. He's saying, so to me, it feels like that there's someone, I do think that there's someone lying to him, but it feels too open. I mean, when I look at this guy, it feels like that there also his imagination could be getting the better of him. I do think that there's some lies, and that's the tough place to be. I'll just say in a nutshell.
Mhm.
There's definitely some deception going on,
Mhm.
but then your own paranoia multiplies it. So for this gentleman, Mark, I would say um, it feels like just stick to the facts. I'm
Mhm.
usually telling people to pay attention to their intuition, but if your fear is getting in the way, pay attention and make decisions on what you know.
Mhm.
All right, make decisions on what you know versus what you fear. Okay?
I just sent you his picture, so if that would help to focus on that.
Um,
Um, yeah.
um, this guy, when I look at Mark, it feels like that he's all right. I'm hearing that some of the business people he's dealing with are not like they're hiding. It's like a shell game. I feel like that there's some definite business interactions that feel dishonest, not real. Feels like that you're trying to be credible, and it feels like that someone is trying to fool you. So I would say um, double check everything. Be very conscious of anybody new that you're doing business with. Feels like business is like there's a shell game going on. You're not seeing what's happening. And that part I would say you're not crazy about. All right, you're not. There's nothing wrong there. You are getting hoodwinked, or they're trying to conceal things from you. So back out of any deal that you're not completely sure of. Okay, do that. Don't wait.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate you being here this week again. And
My
as
pleasure.
always, it's a pleasure. Yeah, no, it's a pleasure's mine. And thanks to all of our viewers and the viewers who were in our live chat and had asked us questions. Thank you so much, and we hope you enjoyed it and got something from that. Um, And I'm glad that we got Mark's question in. Oh boy, that wouldn't have been good. But I'll email him back and let him know he can watch the last 5 minutes and he can get his reading then. So, but I guess just the time zone. Yeah, it's 3 o'clock in the morning in Sweden,
That's
so
rough. Yeah.
nobody's going to be up at that hour to watch our program. So, okay, so Mark, thanks a lot. Have a great week and hang in there. And you know, like I was saying, I think if XRP goes up to like $600, they're gonna try to shake out um retail too at that point too. But I think it's gonna be much, much more valuable than that. I mean, certainly take some profit, but I would definitely, have some that you just hold on to until
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Have some to shake out, get some, when I say shake out, it mean like like shaking out a carpet and or shaking out a rug or something and stuff flies off of it. They're trying to get us to fly off of it, the XRP, because they
Yep.
don't want retail. We're retail, the people, we the people. We're not an institution, so they want just the institutions to use it. And ultimately it probably will. I mean, I don't know if they're planning some role with XRP and the retail level. I don't think so. But I don't know everything. I'm not privy to everything. That's why I think XRP, Solana, and all these other things are probably going to be fulfilling that. But we'll talk to crypto another time. So have a
That
great
sounds
weekend,
good.
everybody. Yeah, have a great weekend. And this concludes the this edition of the Goldfish Report. Thanks for joining us.